Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Select and Dimaga here on Scrap Station. Select spawned as the red Terran player at the 12 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Dimaga spawned here as the blue Zerg. So Scrap Station, another 1v1 matchup. I've been casting all 5 of these games. So far, they've been a great games to watch, and I really enjoyed them. Meanwhile, Dimaga continuing to just mine out. Scrap Station, one of those maps that has seen a lot of iterations since the beta. The adding of these destructible rocks, the changing of the events here and here as well, has made a little bit of differences, not too much. Also, Scrap Station is one of those maps where it's not really mirrored all that much. If you take a look, this particular ledge here is very far away from this natural mineral expansion. Meanwhile, this ledge here is actually very close enough to protect this one Vespene geyser and force the player to try to attack only from this location here. So we'll see if the Scrap Station goes through another iteration or not. Well, can't even say that 3 times slow. Dimaga now continuing to get more and more units here. We'll see if he goes for an early hatchery or tries to go for an early spawning pool, or the standard spawning pool. And meanwhile, Select now throwing down a standard 12 racks and also getting a refinery. So he's getting that refinery a little bit earlier than normal, or is that not actually, that's about the right amount of time. So Select getting that refinery will be able to throw down that tech lab and go for either Reapers or Marauders. We already see an SCV now moving out from Select, so Select wants to do some scouting. The scout will reveal that there is a 16 hatchery in play, and he does not have to worry about any very early Zergling. With that, he may try to open up with some Reaper play. Reaper play is very strong and will be able to deal a lot of damage towards this hatchery here. However, the Zerglings, as soon as they're able to get that metabolic boost, are able to counter the Reapers as long as the Reapers do not reach critical mass. Once those Reapers are in a group of 15 or 20, which I have seen on rare occasions, it does not matter really how many Zerglings you have. Those Zerglings can't move fast enough and stay alive long enough to survive those pistols of those Reapers unless they have the level 1 armor upgrades. Meanwhile, Dimaga is still nearing halfway completion on this hatchery, and now one SCV just lounging around in the base of Dimaga. Dimaga not really caring about all of those drones that could easily turn on him and deal damage, so now moves away with this SCV. That spawning pool nearing completion. We should be seeing a queen now being trained as well, and also 2 Zerglings. So 2 Zerglings now already underway. A factory now being laid down with the tech lab. So it does not look like we're going to get any very early Hellion play unless we are going to get that Infernal Pre-Igniter research. Another supply depot being laid down by Select. So Select now throwing a supply depot here in the back of his base will be able to scout out very easily. One Overlord in this position here, able to watch the front door, perhaps gain some sight. He does not want to reveal himself too much. If he reveals himself too much, he will in fact get shot down by this Marine. One Hellion now being trained up as well. I don't see any Marauder play, just Hellions, more Marines. Not quite sure why that tech lab is currently down. Select needs to get another supply depot, otherwise he will be supply locked, and there it is. We also see a Roach Warden now coming into play. So Dimaga, knowing that there is no tech lab here, realizes that it most likely will be early Hellion play, and now with that little bit of a swap on these, nope, not doing a swap. I thought we were going to see a swap in just a second, as now we are now researching the stim pack for those Marines. That factory also getting a reactor, so it's going to be even more Hellion play in just a second. And the Hellion now moving out perhaps to try to do some scouting. There is already one queen on this low ground and another queen on this high ground, so this one Hellion will not be able to deal all too much damage, even though the Hellion has a decent movement speed, 4.25, which should not be able to snipe down any of these drones unless it takes a fair amount of damage. So there we go, continuing to fight back and forth. One of those drones currently sitting at 1 hit point and be able to barely survive there. Will that Hellion be able to deal any damage? No, already down to 18 hit points, and all that work to get a drone down to 1 hit point. So the natural regeneration of a Zerg for the win. Back over here, the factory now with that reactor, and now stim pack on this one barrack. So we may have a swap now, as it looks as though Select is trying to train up more and more Marines. So as soon as this stim pack research is completed, the reactor may be swapped over in order to double train these Marines here. We do see a Viking now being trained. So Select with Vikings may be able to push out and do some very strong, very aggressive Viking play in just a moment. We do see double Hellions now being trained as well, I guess trying to maximize the time on that reactor. The tech lab nearing completion on that stim pack. Hellions also nearing completion as well. So are we going to get a swap in just a moment? We also see a Viking now trying to hunt down this Overlord. Overlord will take critical damage in just a second as that Overlord move speed of 0.47, 0.47, not that fast. So you can already see Dimaga now pulling back with these Overlords, trying to make sure that he does not take too much damage. And now we see a barracks swap here. Also researching that combat shield upgrade for these Marines. So it may be a mass Marine with medevac. Double medevacs or 2 medevacs will be trained up in just a second. And Select may be able to try to drop into the back of the base here. One Viking now just continuing to fly across the map, only with 1 Overlord kill so far. That Viking wants Overlord blood. Hellions now deciding to pull back here. Roach is now scampering around, able to catch up here, and these Marines will be forced to try to deal with this Roach army and Zergling army. So how will this all work out? These Roaches will be able to deal damage fairly easily as there are no Marauders. So the Roaches with that range of 3 should be able to stay on the far side here and now able to take down that one supply depot. So as that supply depot is now going to get taken down, Zerglings may be able to run through this really small opening. However, with a bunker now being placed down, and the medevacs now going to pick up the rest of these units here. And will it be enough to try to hold off this attack? Another supply depot, perhaps even 2, needs to be thrown down. Otherwise, those Zerglings and those Roaches will be able to push in very easily. One supply depot being positioned here. Very nicely done. What this is going to force, instead of pushing it here, placing it here will force the Roaches to try to get even closer and within range of that bunker. Now in comes a quick drop. So Select with this medevac drop will be able to come into position very easily. 4 Hellions with Marines now in support, using that stim pack and trying to get a quick surround. 1 Queen down, 2 Queens down, and now going after these drones. These Hellions need to go after those drones, and they're not. Instead, now going after more and more, going after the hatchery. So Zerglings now trying to come in over here. Stim pack. These units now just pushing in over here. More and more Hellions just getting plenty of splash damage, trying to finish off the rest of these Zerglings here. Select doing a great job microing these units and maximizing the damage. 1 medevac has been taken down. However, that Queen will get taken down very quickly. Roach is now coming over to reinforce. Army-wise, we do see a Spire now coming into play and a 1,200 mineral army being forced to pull back. So this 800, so right here is 500 minerals worth of units. And we now see the medevac perhaps coming back into play to do more drop damage. Will it be enough? There are just a lot of Roaches on the ground, and they will not be able to do anything else. We do see 1 Queen here and a Spire currently being built, and we now see 1 Mutalisk coming into play. Will it be enough? Roach is now coming into position. However, that Hellion is going to have a very bad day. Too many Roaches really do anything about that, as that 1 medevac being forced to pull out. Currently in production, we do see another command center. Select sitting on a fair amount of minerals, needs to train up more and more units. Not quite sure why he's not training up another medevac, as there, oh, never mind, there are those medevacs that I was wishing that he built. We do see, 3 Marines and 1, a very large payload here, all of them very low on hit points, and now a fresh medevac as well. So as these units drop, however, there is going to be 1 Mutalisk, so that Mutalisk may be able to scout this out. If they drop off onto this high ground, that would probably be the best play at this point. This medevac needs to drop its load, otherwise that's going to be a lot of losses, and now trying to manually drop that load. Only 2 Marines were able to be dropped in time, and now 1 medevac losing 3 Marines and 1 Hellion from that fight. Not too good of a move by Select. Select really needed to micro those medevacs better in order to stay in this. SoFi army-wise, 1550 versus 1325. Roaches and Mutalisk once again on the move. We see the command center nearing completion. So far, Select has been behind in terms of mining just because Dimaga has been able to mine out of 16 mineral patches instead of 8 so far. More spine crawlers now coming into position as well as these units now continuing to be macroed up. Production-wise, nothing being trained by Select. So Select sitting on 600 minerals, not training anything. So once again, going to move out with mass Marines. These Marines, however, are not upgraded whatsoever. However, this group of 24 Marines may be able to deal enough damage. Dimaga does not see this drop currently. Sorry, not 24 Marines. There was 1 Marauder in that group. So it's going to be 22 Marines with 1 Marauder quickly coming in, quickly stimming. We'll be able to finish this off, perhaps get a lot of damage. Down goes, no, the Queen now finally taken down. And more of these drones as they're getting transferred over. Very bad time. However, Banelings now on the move. Banelings trying to suicide themselves into that fight. However, very nicely done by Select. Select purposely left 1 Marine there to sacrifice himself against all of those Banelings to minimize the amount of splash damage. The main layer has been taken down, so Dimaga now being forced to mine out of 1 location here, going to lose the spawning pool, so will not even be able to upgrade the tier 2 all that easily. Roach is now trying to come in as well. Medevacs, Roaches, Medevacs, Roaches, Marines, Marauders trying to dish it out here. One Marauder will be able to finish off the rest of this attack here. No, the Medevacs almost left them. The healing bus almost leaving the army once again. More and more drones now doing some more long distance mining. The Zerg Cocoon over here now trying to trade out more roaches as this hatchery nearing completion. If this roach warren gets taken down, that may be all the production buildings except for the spire. So the spire, now the roach warren taken down, no spawning pool, only a spire, and now only Mutalisk can be trained. However, that's going to be some very, very long distance mining in order to do anything here. Another spine crawler being positioned, another hatchery being placed down by Dimaga. Dimaga trying to stay in this and keep in this game so far. However, Dimaga looking in a very, very bad situation so far. So this spire over here is the only production tech building for Dimaga. Dimaga now currently, oh, he does have a Baneling's Nest. I take it back. So this Baneling's Nest, however, does not have any creep. Now slowly getting that creep back. There are Mutalisks in the air, so Banelings will be used in order to try to counteract this mass Marine army. Select finally trying to establish his other expansion here. You can see that his main base is nearly mined out, already down to 6 mineral patches, and with the mules, these mineral patches mine out very, very quickly. Army-wise, we see 1450. What was taken out over here? Medevacs, Marines, Marauders continuing the drop and this attack over here. However, the Banelings were able to just roll through this whole entire army and take it down, and Select unable to push that back. So only 3 Mutalisks and 2 Roaches able to finish off the rest of this army here. Mutalisks trying to finish off these 2 Marines. 1 Marine left, and down it goes. Poor Medevac may get taken down as well. Dimaga using every resource that he can, using the Queen's transfusion in order to keep these 3 Mutalisks in play. These 3 Mutalisks still very, very up on hit points. However, another group of Marines now moving out once again. Drones coming off the mineral line. These Marines being forced to pull back. Will they be able to finish off the rest of these units? Perhaps try to deal some damage towards these Mutalisks here. However, the stim on these Marines once again going to take down this Overlord, denying another 8 mineral patches for Dimaga. More Marines on this low ground production-wise. Siege tanks, barracks. We finally have a spawning pool in place, so Zerglings now are currently being trained. Another extractor, the evolution chamber will get taken down. However, broodlings will come out in just a second. Will he use that time? No, not using that time in order to get some additional damage, perhaps take down this one medevac. The medevac now once again in the air. Mutalisk trying to rush in. Will it be able to take down this medevac? Medevac very low on hit points already. Drones being transferred over here, and this medevac with 6 Marines taken out of the sky. So Select losing another 400 minerals. However, doing another drop, an elevator drop into this location. So with an elevator drop, perhaps he'll be able to just slowly push out here into this location and just simply walk into this. So we may see a stim and just walk in, take out this queen. We are at tier 2, so Dimaga was able to tech to tier 2 here. Zerglings, however, now making their way through, quickly getting taken down. There were no upgrades whatsoever. No level 1 weapons upgrades versus level 1 armor upgrades. Banelings, however, on a roll, will be able to splash out a lot of damage. Mutalisk, once again, these Marines need to drop down. As these Marines drop down, this medevac will get taken down. Another 2 Marines not lost. However, those Roaches, Mutalisk able to finish it off once again. So Dimaga just really brilliant play. However, more drops on the back of the base. Cannot stop for 1 second. So Select now dropping once again with just really brilliant marine play so far. However, Dimaga able to continue to put a lot of pressure with these Mutalisks, dropping these medevacs out of the sky. Marines now once again being lowered into this position. Perhaps a mule needs to be called down in order to repair it. Otherwise, those Mutalisks may come back to try to shoot it down. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Select and Dimaga here on Scrap Station.